Hello, I'm Adrian, and welcome to the next chapter of Analytical Story Battle. In this series, we see what the outcome would be if two heroes or villains would face off against each other. In the first chapter, we saw what would happen if CW Arrow would go up against DC's Extended Universe Batman. In case you've missed it, click on the card above to see the outcome of that particular battle. The response has been great, and I really appreciate all of your comments. Taking a look at them, it seems that you'd really like to see CW's Arrow versus Netflix's Daredevil. And that's exactly what we're going to take a look at today. The cool thing is that not only do we take a look at their respective superheroic backgrounds, I place a strong emphasis on their martial arts background as well, so you'll get to see their different fighting styles play out in real time in a fight. In case you'd like to see the in-depth martial arts analysis of these two awesome heroes, take a look at how many fighting styles does Arrow or Daredevil know. That's also available on the playlist in the description or on the card above. Much like the previous episode, I like to keep the fights as even as possible, so in other words, I won't use environmental kills. I feel they don't truly test the skill of the opponents. Furthermore, we're going to switch over to a first-person narrator, as that way you can truly see what's going on in the fighter's mind. And in case you didn't know, you can turn on subtitles for the video by pressing the button labeled CC. Time for another experimental educational video where you'll get to see what the outcome would be in this what-if analytical battle between CW's Arrow and Netflix's Daredevil.
As usual, I find myself running through the city rooftops. It's funny, I'm starting to think I really wouldn't be able to drive in Star City anymore. I know these rooftops better than the intersections down below. I'm still in a state of disbelief, however. I'm glad that the actions of the Green Arrow have inspired people to become better versions of themselves, but I never imagined I would have inspired copycat vigilantes. I'm still in the middle of dealing with a particular gun-toting one with a penchant for oversized ski goggles, but he's not the primary objective tonight. Tonight's objective is a blind man, a very strong, lethal, skilled, and intelligent blind man. Reports of him surfacing in the city surfaced only a few days ago. He dresses all in red, wears a mask with horns, and is incredibly good at beating people up. As much as I'd like to let him be, I need to assess the kind of person he is. I don't want him to turn into a vigilante like the other one. Who knows? Maybe he'd like to be part of Team Arrow. We could always use him as a member. As I'm nearing the hot zone, Felicity buzzes through my comms, letting me know that he should be there. It's an old boxing building. Nobody has been here for years. Most of the discarded equipment still lies in its original packaging. I draw my bow just to be safe, but I have no intent on putting an arrow through this guy. I walk a few more paces, and I see a shadow of a figure, crouched, overlooking the city. I'm a good 15 meters from him. At this distance, "Why are you here?" he yells out. Incredible. He must have enhanced hearing abilities. No normal human being could have heard me from back here. I was virtually silent. "I'm just here to talk," I say, my real voice disguised by my voice modulator. "Did you tell that to all the people you've killed?" He retorts. "That's not me anymore. I don't kill. Unless I have to," I reply. "Well, that seems like an awfully convenient rule," he states. "Listen, you don't know what the circumstances were. Haven't you ever heard of thou shalt not kill? I don't recall seeing any amendments," he says. "If you disagree with my methods, that's fine. I just want to know what you're doing here in Star City, protecting it from murderers like you." He makes a run towards me and I fire a warning shot right by him, but he ignores it completely and tackles me down. It seems very clear that he wanted to pin me down, but I roll out of the hold. I don't want to take this fight to the ground just yet. I need to assess the situation further. But he's got other plans and throws one of the strongest hooks I've ever felt in my life. I block it thanks to my muscle memory from endless drills in Wing Chun, but the sting comes through the block and barely prepares me for the subsequent hook, jab, and uppercut. He clearly has an incredibly strong background in boxing. One of his jabs gets through to my nose. The pain is sharp, concentrated. I feel a bit of blood on my upper lip, but my teeth remain intact. It looks like he's going to continue with the boxing combo, so I decide to go on the offensive. As he throws one of his jabs, I shoot on my left arm and hold it just for a moment, trapping it, as they would say in Wing Chun and Jeet Kune Do. I then use my other arm to quickly hit him right in the elbow, followed by a quick strike to the neck using my bow. It hurts him, clearly. When I go in for the next bow strike, he promptly throws a cut kick right as I'm going in for it. I lose my balance, and he takes the opportunity to grab the bow and toss it aside. A cut kick like that indicates Jeet Kune Do training on his part as well, and I'm still perplexed at how a blind man can handle himself so well. Now that I am disarmed, he retrieves his two bastons from a holster and strikes a fighting stance I know all too well. He comes at me with the two small batons, and I thank all of the training I've had in Kali up until now, as it's relatively easy to dodge and block the incoming strikes since Kali is my backbone martial art. Countless hours spent training with Diggle are paying off in spades right now. He can't get a single solid hit through. I can tell he's getting a little frustrated, and in a brief moment, where he doesn't retrieve the baston fast enough, I disarm it. That's the great thing about Kali. It not only teaches you how to use weapons, but how to disarm him as well. I toss it aside, letting him know that I don't want to fight him. He looks at the single baston and tosses it aside as well. I don't want to fight you. Why are you here? I say. He takes a deep breath and begins. All I know is that one day I woke up and I was no longer in my city. I was here, in this city. My entire apartment was in a block I had never seen before. My cell phone number had contacts I had never heard of before. So I just thought that if I would go back to my regular routine, things would change. As he explains himself, it makes perfect sense. Traveling with the tech that I did caused a giant time-space continuum. I had been told that there would be consequences, but I never imagined they would stretch this deep. Sending a man from another state, potentially another Earth, right over here, his entire life, sense of being, relocated. I can help you, I say to him. A murderer like you? I doubt it, he replies. And in a second he delivers a strike to my knee, no doubt using a technique from Salat. But on the second attempt I spin over him and catch him in a spin hook kick. He doesn't roll out of the movement, which gives me an opportunity to convert the move into a solid pin, which he unfortunately flips over and converts into a pin of his own. The man must also have training in ground fighting. My gut is telling me judo, so I decide to throw in some pro wrestling techniques to get off the ground. I pull in an arm and begin a lock, which causes him to loosen his hold, so I stand right back up, and he does as well. It's so far been like fighting a mirror. His kali matches mine, his judo Salat does as well. As he dives in, I decide to throw in something a little unexpected. A good old martelo de negativa from capoeira. The movement of dropping on the ground, while simultaneously shooting my leg out, causes him a brief moment of confusion, so the roundhouse lands right on his temple. It's been the only good hit I've gotten, so I follow up with a push kick. To my surprise, despite having his head turned away from me, it's as if he saw the hit coming and sidesteps right out of the way, countering by grabbing my leg, and right before he's about to go in for the knee break, I shoot my other leg out to kick him in the chest. I land on the floor, but the technique works. I still have a knee. He goes in for a pin, but I counter by using the judo technique of throwing my legs upward and making him dive across me. He then harmlessly rolls off the impact on the other side of the rooftop. It's clear to me now that I'm going to have to think of another way to subdue him. I can't just keep hoping that one of my techniques will overpower him. There's no way he saw that push kick coming, so he must have heard it. A sense of hearing is what's keeping him in the fight. It's why he can see me. So if I have any chance at all here, I need to overload his senses. Black Canary! I may not have her ability, but I can replicate it with the same device Sarah used to use. In a split second, I toss a new, much smaller model on the ground, and it goes off without a hitch. The deafening sound nearly incapacitates the man, so I go in for a rear naked choke. Like I said, I can help you, I say. He spits out some blood. Okay, what do I need to do? He finally replies. We first need to go see a new friend of mine.
And there you have it. What did you think of the fight? Let me know in the comments below and feel free to leave your suggestions. This was an extremely tough matchup as they are both very skilled hand-to-hand fighters. They also both share a proficiency in several of the same fighting styles. Taekwondo, Kali, Salat, pro wrestling, judo. Just like Arrow said, it was like a mirror fight. I ultimately gave the win to CW Arrow due to tech. Daredevil doesn't use any, and Arrow does when he has to. Who knows though, maybe they'll get a rematch in the future. Join my Patreon to get access to cool behind-the-scenes stuff and a bunch of other rewards. Subscribe and you can follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and brand new Facebook fan page, Godzilla Rex. See you next time.